It was great.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. We got the lovely Dion in the building. We got Kitty Kit. We got Boombox, Tiara, Just Justified, and we got Uma B again in the building. Welcome back to the show, Uma B. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
It is more than a pleasure having you over here with us. You did so dope the last time. I got to give you a round of applause on that
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me back. I'm excited.
one. Nah, it's all good. It's all love. It's all love. So today is going to be a great topic. I said today. What is wrong with me? Today we are going to talk about divorce. When is it time to give up? When is it that time to say, I'm gonna throw in the towel, and there might be something else out there for me, or is it ever even worth it? That's the topic today. Bless you, whoever is sneezing. Look, I am gonna play. I'm gonna play. Tiara. What's her name? Tia Mowry. We all know her situation, what she got going on with her divorce, and then I would love for the ladies to touch this topic with me. So here we go.
When I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. Wow. And it's not easy. It's a hard journey. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is so worth it.
All right. I know y'all heard that foolishness. So
Self-love is foolish?
yeah.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, that's
Loving oneself is foolishness.
Yeah, foolishness. But we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. My man Matt said, Jess, don't put this serious face. What's going on? So serious, Jess. What up? Man, first of all, we got I see. We got Mona D in the building. What is good? It is a pleasure seeing you over here. You work with some of the heavy hitters that I've been watching for years, and it is a pleasure having you on this side. What is going on, Mona D? I'd like to also thank everyone that's watching us on multiple streaming platforms. Continue to watch on those platforms, but I would say come over on this side also and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And as you come in the door, hit the like button. Mona D says, hello, GMT and the ladies. What is good?
Hi, Mona D.
Hey, girl.
What is good? All right. So let's get into this topic. We got MRT in the building. MRT, what is good?
What it do? What's good, Matt?
So I don't know if you
toxic one on this panel. I think it's Kitten and me. I'm playing. I'm playing.
I mean, nobody can top Cardi B, the historian. Nobody can top that one.
You know what?
She is a historical enthusiast. That's what she is.
Maybe you should have said that.
Tell her holla at me so we can do an interview and talk about it one day. We're gonna talk about how she's a historian. Okay?
No. But like this. You and I are gonna talk about that. Not you and Cardi B. So, anyways, let's move on to the topic. Ladies, what is good? What's your thought process on divorce, and when is it time to throw in the towel?
Well,
Anyone can start this.
Shorty said, I just want to talk about self-love, how important it is to be on a journey of self-love. I want to know why you ain't love yourself before you got married. That's my question. I'ma just
boom.
Did she not love herself before she got married?
I don't know, because she said she's on a journey of self-love as if she was not already in love with herself before. Like, you ain't love yourself, you ain't know your worth. I don't know if it was because Corey was not making her feel worthy. Because I mean that that could happen in a marriage where now you may feel a little different about yourself or whatever the case may be. But I just want to understand: did she not love herself or had an issue with self-worth before she got married, and now she's like discovering that now that she is unmarried?
I think it's code language. I don't think she really stopped loving herself and it's a self-love journey. I think it's her way of saying, I really want out. I really want out of this marriage. It's not you, it's me. I got to go on this journey. I really don't. I just want you gone. I want the bed to myself. Please be gone. That's what I think. And I am an advocate for divorce because the problem right now that we have in our nation is that there's too many people getting into these committed relationships without doing the proper vetting. So we're not really with our right person. We're not equally yoked.
So why be an advocate of divorce rather than an advocate of proper vetting?
Well, yeah, I'm an advocate
foundation altogether.
I'm an advocate for proper vetting, but if in a situation where a marriage is not working, there's people that are just pro-marriage. And I'm not for that. I'm for everybody's mental health. And everybody knows what it's like to be in a toxic relationship or a relationship that's not working and your mental health is disturbed. So that's what I meant by saying I'm an advocate for divorce.
Well, sorry, Jess, you were about to say something in response.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just looking a little ahead though. You got it.
Taking a step back from the clip and what Tiff said or Dion said, I think some people get into relationships looking for that missing piece of themselves. And there's these expectations people have in relationships, serious relationships and marriages, thinking, okay, this person is going to complete me. Or once I get married, once I attain this type of relationship, this is how I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel better about myself. I'm going to obtain, I guess, the highest level of society. Because you know how some women, when they are connected to a relationship, they feel like they're whole. They have a person. I'm not going to just say they have their person. And a lot of women can get caught up in the hype of relationship. But what you need to understand before getting into relationships, you kind of need to know who you are as a person. It's not just a vetting. It's not you just vetting the person you're dating, but it's you also taking inventory of yourself. That's why I'm an advocate of you having some alone time before you hop into something serious. Like I know people go from relationship into relationship without even having that downtime to be like, hey, why did I mess that relationship up? Or why am I not in relationships with people where it's a harmonious union or equally yoked union, right? So there's a couple proponents there. I think given that Tia, she met Corey when he was walking and she was
at the bus stop.
She picked up homeboy from the bus stop, right? And she was on the
lollipop.
and she was on the show The Game. So her career was, flourishing. Meanwhile, Corey's was just beginning. He was very broke. I know marriages, there's some seasons that we all go through. So I think what she didn't do is properly vet herself. Me personally, she vetted herself and took inventory of her relationship with Corey and why did you choose him and why were you in this relationship? And now that you guys are evolving, are you guys making new agreements as the relationship evolves? Because marriage is a continuous evaluation, continuous push forward, and go to therapy before, during, and after. I'm just gonna say that out loud. Counseling is your friend during marriage, before marriage, all up and through that marriage. And even in counseling, it's not going to always bring you guys together, but you might have some realizations there as well. So long story short, vet yourself first so then you can vet that other person.
Let me ask a question though. And I feel like we can all say this. Have you all never been in whether it was a friendship, situationship, or whatever, where you actually learn more about yourself by being with that person. Like it wound up teaching you things about you that you didn't even know or realize that you should have gotten together, didn't realize there were things that you needed to get together. Because some people walk around here and think that they're together. Like they walking around and they like, no, I'm together. And the right counselor, person, situation will humble them and make them realize, you know what, maybe I'm not quite as together as I thought I was. Maybe I didn't look at myself in this particular way. So saying that, I feel like maybe that relationship made her realize the things that she didn't realize prior to getting into it. And like she said, you know, and people, you know, have a hard thing about being selfish about yourself, right? And we need to do that more, you know, hopefully before you know, sign, you know, contract agreements for long term. But there's nothing wrong with being selfish with yourself as far as making sure that you're thinking about you and your mental health, because how you show up is how you're going to show out. You know, also making sure that you have other parts of your life together, that you're not bringing, you know, a level of baggage that isn't unpackable. You know, you ultimately want to go into a relationship with luggage, if you will, you know, versus baggage. So, you know, definitely that's my particular take on it. So I think this particular relationship, she might have learned who she was and didn't realize that these things were happening until the relationship kind of brought it out.
So what I'm hearing, what it sounds like is a lot of beforehand, right? Which is good. Like, find who you are before you get married. I don't think anyone should get married without knowing that marriage is something that they truly want, and it's something that should be for a lifetime, because you make that commitment. And especially in our community, we like to preach about, you know, we're all Christians, we all believe in God. Mm-hmm. Yet every chance we get, we keep breaking those commandments. Right. So, okay, if that's how it's going to be, then don't get married. If the mindset is that I'm not really a true believer, don't get married. But sickness and health, richer for poor, till death do you part, those are real words that you make. But a lot of people, like quote unquote her, who graduated from her marriage, she's teaching younger women how to be. It's okay to be in a relationship and get out of it. Uma, like when you said you were an advocate for divorce, I would say, listen, I agree. If that's how you do it with your people's, fine. Me personally, I believe in teaching people, you made the decision, do everything in your power to work it out.
So I want to add to that, because I believe my parents are still married. So I look to get married one day and stay married. But, you know, the problem is that we don't really think about the whole relationship. We're looking at a relationship from our viewpoint where we're at right now, right? Now, imagine if you're going to be with somebody for 40, 50 years, you know, every 7 years, they say you change. Or if you want to keep it to decades, every decade you change, right? People got to start thinking about that fact. The person I love today, she's going to be the same person, but every 10 years, she's going to change and become something different. Am I willing to change with that person? I believe marriage can work, but I believe marriage can only work if we're all realistic of that fact, that who I fell in love with 13 years ago is not going to be the same person 13 years later. So,
but wouldn't that fall in the same category as what she said she graduated from her marriage? We all change, right? But I do believe we have to change together.
Correct.
To grow together, right? And sometimes the person that you're with might not like see your growth. So it is up to you to show that person consistently, listen, I want you to be where I'm at. The mindset of, okay, we're going to be all in the same place that we are 15, 20 years from now, is not realistic. Everything is going to change about us for the most part.
And I think that's really what happened. I think that
she was evolving. You say changing, but more, evolving in a space where she didn't realize who she was anymore. Sometimes, especially as women, a lot of times when we're in a relationship, we're accommodating everyone, the husband, the children, and all of that. We accommodate so much that we start losing ourselves, and we don't know ourselves anymore. We don't know our likes, dislikes, and stuff like that. In a lot of cases, I've seen that where you lose yourself. So I feel like she evolved in a space to where she wasn't aware of herself anymore, and she needed to give herself that time. Not necessarily, like, oh, well, I gotta leave the relationship, but that's just what she chose to do because maybe that was the best option. I think, Corey and her, they both were in a good space when they met, financially on both ends. But, things just take place that change the scope and the dynamic of your relationship. And also, you don't know what other trauma had taken place. Somebody could have, lost a loved one. Things like that can affect, the relationship as well. So sometimes you just have to give people that space. Whether you're with them, you can be with them, supporting them mentally. It doesn't always have to be a physical type of support.
So I feel like also though one of the major flaws is leaning on happiness, pretty much. Like when we use that as a foundation, then there are going to be times in a marriage when you're happy and times in a marriage when you're not happy. So you cannot lead with that as a foundation of a marriage for the most part, because then you got to figure out, ways of coping with when for the times that are not happy. So
and
if that's
the
right. And that's one of the reasons she gave us. So if that's one of the reasons you gave, one of the main reasons you gave us, that's not, to me, that's not a sufficient reason, especially with children in this marriage. One who's like, what, 4 or 5 years old or something like that. I feel like that's where, as much as you want to do self-love, you can do self-love in an island over there with the amount of money you have and figure some stuff out, take whatever time you need, hire a nanny, do something, and then come right back and get it together, because for the foundation of your child as well, figure it out.
I think the explanation, the verbiage, self-love, I think it was just like a vague but broad,
like a blanket statement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because really she doesn't really owe us an explanation, because we're just people, just like she is.
But we are people who are going to judge by what we were given. That's what we were given.
Yeah, I mean, we all are welcome to judge, but marriage is a safe, sacred place that you're welcome to judge the relationship, but it's not your relationship. You're not in it, so you can't really judge it without looking at yourself and just being like, well, it's really not none of my business. It's not really my place to state whatever the case, whether he's broke, she's unhappy with children. Like, we're just basically just trying to judge what she said. And I don't even think that that's fair to her, because it is her marriage and it is her relationship.
No, we got to judge what she said. The reason why is because she said it publicly, right?
Well, yeah, she
said that publicly, but she did not give us an indication of what broke down the marriage. Like, what were the steps taken before you got to divorce? Like, for example,
you said
she didn't do that. Then happy because she's divorced, and is she unhappy? I don't know.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Why is she not happy? What indication have we gotten that she's not happy?
Because she's on TikTok every day talking about her relationship status and what she wishes she could find a man that has the values of the man that she left.
I think she's using that as an outlet. Like, what I've noticed is when people get into these new phases, because I've definitely seen a lot of YouTubers do this as well. There's been YouTubers that I've followed for years, from their dating to their engagement to their marriage to the demise of their marriage to divorce. And they all continue with sharing the journey and how it's going and the ups and the downs and et cetera. So I just feel like she's just using this as an outlet. But still going back to what we were talking about before, where was her self-evaluation during the marriage? Because I feel like that's something that we do need to also look at. When you're in a marriage, you still supposed to be self-evaluating, getting doing some under stock on what's going on with you. Like,
but everybody evolves differently, and everybody evolves at a different pace.
Right,
So,
but was she using the tools? Was she seeking out individual therapy as well as marital therapy?
That's what I'm saying. We don't.
So she chose commitment.
We're all making assumptions.
She chose commitment. Her involvement needs to be involved in that commitment.
But
that's
what
she chose.
But we still, like, we really don't know. Like, what if he were already threatened divorce, and then she just said, okay, I want a divorce, and then she just went wearing the blame.
She needs to tell that to the public, because here's the thing: she gave something, she gave an explanation, and for how important the choice of marriage is, you cannot just leave it as that and it be okay as a blanket. Like, then don't give a statement at all. There are people who don't give statements when they get divorced.
Yeah, she didn't.
My thing is, don't give a statement at all.
What I'm saying is her statement was vague, and it said, "Okay, well, self-love." So
that's the whole point.
At some point, let's just say it's very vague, but she's also saying, like, she lost herself somewhere. Right. For you to use the term self-love, you lost yourself, and you need to tend to you. Right?
Let me read this super chat really quick. We got a super chat from Queen Lala, $4.99. She says supporting the ladies tonight. Chat. Queen Lala in the building. Yo, listen, Lala. Wait, hold on. I gotta get. Queen Lala, we gotta get you on this panel. So, all right, ladies, go ahead, continue with the conversation.
I wanted to chime in on what y'all were saying as far as like how she lost herself, right? Or that could be the reason for why she divorced. Obviously, I've never been married, but I will say I have an idea of what that feels like to, quote unquote, lose yourself. If you don't have your own mental stability in line, you can't even operate for yourself. So like your mindset and your willpower is everything that you have to protect. And when you don't protect that and you become weak, you begin to feel lost. So I think, in that situation, I think you have to have a very supportive partner when you get to that point, to kind of be able to bring you back in and regain that mental stability that you're looking for. Obviously, we don't know what else happened deeply in their relationship. I only know her from, the TV show they had. So I don't really know much about her life or her marriage. But but I think it's important, like, when you get to that point as a couple, you have to have a very strong relationship when it comes to communication. But that is important to avoid that point at all costs. It's no fun not really remembering who you are or having a sense of like you lost yourself. That's all I had to say about that. But I did want to comment on what GMT said a little while ago. I was trying to write it down, is that you were saying that she's teaching the youth that divorce is okay, or she's displaying that. I would disagree with that, because I feel like the culture is doing that. The music in the entertainment world, the things that we idolize, is promoting everything that is opposite of marriage and commitment. You can't really look at anybody's I guess like idol that they have in their head that has a positive example of marriage and old school values that we'd be looking for. So I think just us as a culture, we've already moved way past that. way past
So-
that. Marriage is not anything that's valuable anymore to most people.
Mhm.
I like to respond to your disagreement. Do you believe that there could be additives to a problem?
Additives, additional things on the outside. It could be, yeah, it could be a lot of stuff. It could be a lot going on with her.
So if she is part of a problem, then she's the problem as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm gonna chime in.
But I
Yeah.
don't, it's not like she's like, I feel like she's just a part of the puzzle. You know what I mean? I feel like
Right, but it's still a part of it though. So
Yeah.
the way you eliminate that is not being a part of that problem. 1 second, Uma, what was you gonna say?
All right, so I was just running the statistics real quick. Tia is 46 right now. She was married for 15 years.
Oh wow.
That means she got married at 31. Before she was married, they dated for 6 years. They got engaged in 2006. They got married in 2008. So they dated for 8 years, right? If you do the math of all of that, they had their first child in 2011, the second child 2018, the separation in 2022, the divorce 2023. If you look at all of that, this is not a woman that blindly rushed into a relationship. Also, this is a mark of a woman that grew with this man. She clearly met him in her 20s and left him in her 40s, right? I think the bigger picture, y'all don't hate me too much for this. I think the bigger picture is marriage a stable institution that really can last the test of time? Because this is not like some young girl who jumped in with a guy 3 years later, she's sick of him, she left, right? We're looking at somebody who's been realistically with a person for over 20 years.
Can I chime in right there? Because
Go right ahead.
okay. So you make up a great point, right? Because can marriage stand the test of time? Back in the day, marriage wasn't done for love,
Right.
from what I've heard. It was
Yeah.
arranged.
Necessity.
That's
It
correct.
was two families coming together to build their wealth.
Mhm.
The original institution of marriage. Most recently, and I say recently in the last, let's say 100, 200 years, I don't know. We have this new notion that when you want to marry somebody, there is love and feelings involved, not discounting those arranged marriages, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Question. I think I have a question, and I don't know, comment, I don't know. If the original intent of marriage was to strengthen families, and when we say strengthen families, we mean wealthy families, because I think in those times where arranged marriage happened, poor men weren't getting married.
Right.
Were they getting picked?
No, poor men were getting married.
They were getting married.
They were getting married to women on their level.
Yeah, it just depends on each family status.
Yeah.
So they
everyone
were
was getting married.
They were all getting married.
Marriage is
combined resources. It wasn't primarily.
Tiara, I'm sorry.
That was mostly like
kings and
other
queens,
races,
right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about the average peasant. They were married. They were
But
married.
they were getting married to combine their resources, is what I
No, they had no resources. They got
just
married to this
poor people were marrying poor people.
they got married for family. They got married to have children.
Now some average people did get married because they were doing like the older man and the younger wife type of thing back then. I don't really know exactly how to explain that, but older men were marrying younger women, I guess, because they wanted children and things of that nature. But
so there was some type of
And how
some
strong
type of
It's always about legacy with that.
It's about legacy. You
So
wouldn't
you
be
watch
here if
Game
they
of
didn't do
Thrones, you
that.
watch House of the Dragon, they need their name. It's a
That's what I'm
legacy.
saying. This is where I'm going because I'm thinking of House of the Dragon where
Oh my God. We are not talking about House
Really?
of the Dragon.
No, how did we get
it was
here?
brother and sister. Like how you
No.
loving your sister and you loving your brother and your
Yo.
uncle. But anyway, I said all
I
that
feel
to
like
say
y'all need to
this.
just get into it.
I think we have
Good stuff.
evolved in what we think the institution of marriage is, right? So in today's society, now I'm talking in today's society, we marry for a multitude of reasons. I'm going to speak for myself. I married my husband because I love him and we are partners. We are friends. We are partners. We went into this marriage because we
You
are
put
also
a
business
capital
partners,
P
right?
on that partner word.
Huh?
You put a
You know that's
capital P on
one of
partner.
Mingo's.
Because we are partners. We
You
have
know that's
equal,
my buzzword.
we have equal
Why do you say it's
investment
not a
into this
partnership?
relationship. I'm coming with stuff. You're coming with stuff. I'm gonna put in work. You're gonna put
Still
in
not
work.
your part. Still
We know
not your
that work
partner.
is gonna look different every day because everybody doesn't have 100% every day. We are partners. He's
But
my
can-
husband. I'm his wife.
They
That's
are
just what it is.
partners in their marriage. GMT in their marriage.
What
They
is
are
what's
partners.
the problem with saying
Don't
partners?
do
So,
that.
and we
No.
also
What's
understand
wrong
when
with
we
saying
did get
partners?
married. When we
Y'all ain't
did
part-
get married. Oh, I'm sorry. When we did
Y'all-
get
this is
married.
why y'all did. This is why y'all divorce rate is so high because y'all
Because
are
we're
all-
partners.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Why
I'm gonna
not?
interject.
Why shouldn't they say partners? What's wrong with that? Because I don't.
What
think
is wrong with being partners?
What
I'll
does
tell
that
you
mean?
why. But
Lord,
I'm not even gonna
let
touch that.
I'm not
gonna
Kit
touch
interject,
that.
and then I'll touch the partner thing right after.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not touching the partner thing because I know exactly why that's his buzzword.
Oh, is he thinking about the other thing?
But
Is that why? I don't
no,
know.
I know.
I want to hear it, so I'm
I
just gonna wait.
understand. I understand as far as like when he's talking about why partners or partnership is an issue because it's hierarchy as far as within a marriage or relationship. But I also personally feel like all relationships and marriages need to be doctrine in the way that works for them. But I feel like, okay, so Uma, I feel like you're like my like mystical like sister, like Shiro kind of like girl.
Not mystical.
Like we are here on like cosmic levels and stuff because
Right.
I'm about to say something that's probably gonna get me fired from the podcast. I'm telling y'all I love y'all now.
Who say it?
I just want to let
Not
y'all know.
who say it.
Okay. But
whose phone is that keep going on?
I'm so sorry. Y'all can hear that?
Ding. Yeah,
I've
girl.
been hearing
That's
them
you.
dings. I'm like
long
looking
time.
around,
I
like
keep
what's
checking
going
my phone.
on?
Like,
Oh, is that your weed man or something? Like, what's going on?
A group chat. Like I was like, I wonder if they can hear that. It's like ding because it comes up on my laptop.
We can
I
hear
was
it.
looking around crazy. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm saying it with love. And for all of my people who love their marriages, please continue to love them. And there's nothing wrong with them or anything. But monogamy is a man-made construct that's not necessarily natural to people. It's a job and it's a work. And because of that, this is why you have so many issues with people being able to sustain monogamy in the way that is constructed through the marriage lens, if you will, which is why so many, current relationships or marriages now, when they look at polyamory, they're like, oh my God, I deal with one person, let it go and this, that, and the third. But love is essentially not the same amongst each other and different people. The way you love Dion is going to be different than the way that you love your son is going to be different than the way that you love your mom. It doesn't mean that you don't love them all equally. You just love them differently, So that's my little tidbit with it. I think when you look at marriages and people and evolving, and it really plays a part in how, people fare out in their relationships. Relationships are not cookie cutter. And I think that's the problem. Everybody's trying to have this American built marriage with the 2.5 kids and the fence and the wife that's super submissive and the man that's got his briefcase on the way to work. That's not what works for everybody. But as long as the relationship works for the people in it, that should be what's important. The relationship didn't work for Tia in the relationship that she was in. And like Uma said, she had years and years and years with this man. It wasn't a fly-by-night thing. They were together for almost a decade before they even hit the aisle. So clearly, again, not even saying that she was trying to cheat or anything, but as she evolved, she realized that wasn't for her. And unfortunately, because of how American society looks and feels about marriage, it's this farce when you think of divorce in any other way. But I'll end.
No,
I have something to add to that.
Go ahead, Uma.
So I understand what she's saying, because like I like to look at things from a factual point of view, right? And not get my emotions involved. And that's why I always look to my computer and I pull little stats up and stuff like that. Actually, it is quite rare in the animal kingdom to have a monogamous relationship. Now, birds, there's about 80 to 90% of the bird population that is monogamous. But in the mammal population, because we're mammals, only 3 to 5% of the approximately 4,000 mammal species on Earth practice monogamy. So what I'm trying to say is, and what I was trying to say earlier when I said I'm an advocate for divorce, is just this: not everybody is meant for marriage. And there are people that are meant for marriage. So when we find, right, the couples that do not match, and they gave it a go and they had these beautiful children and they tried to make it work and it doesn't work, I don't think we should be faulting them if it is just not in their makeup to make that happen. I always wish everybody who's married the best blessings, and I hope that people make it to the end, but we're not all built for that. So that's my
look. Tracy Ellis Ross is happy with no problems.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right?
She got the best wardrobe.
What it comes across as. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. What it comes across as is what's being said is try and fail. It's almost like there's some magical partner that's meant for everyone out there. Y'all, our community, I truly believe, we're the ones that's very much like there's a lid for every pot. Everyone has this person that's out there that's going to find them somewhere and marry them. And it's not true. Statistically now, if we're going to bring up statistics, we can look at that. The fact that the older these women are getting after these divorces, they are not happy. They are on antidepressants more. This is a statistical fact. There's women that leave their marriages and go out there and try their hardest to find another man that was giving them what the other man was giving them. Why are you leaving? Because the world is telling you, oh, give up. No, it's not successful if it doesn't last for a lifetime. Could marriage stand the test of time? Yeah. If you learn and someone teaches you how to do it. Mm-hmm. If you talk to the elders, the people that did it before you. But when you talk to people that's like, oh, yo, you get a divorce, it's fine. You'll find somebody else, hopefully, if that's what you want. Or maybe you don't want to be married. Maybe you want to be the cat lady. Fine. Be a cat lady.
But I don't like that.
Tracy Ellis Ross ain't thought about a man and ain't nobody stepped on her neck. If, as a matter of fact, everybody.
You're talking about one person.
You don't think she's the man, though? So, I'm just saying.
I have one she want a man too.
She want a man?
I haven't met a depressed divorcee yet.
I'm just asking.
If I'm speaking about sphere of stuff I see around.
I mean, I've seen.
That's anecdotal, though.
I wouldn't necessarily say depressed, but
I mean, societal.
Most people that I know that have been married want to be married again. They don't want to be single.
No one wants to be single for the most part.
Right.
All of us want somebody. So if you believe in God and God a lot. Yeah, but whatever.
She don't want nobody in her house.
Her e-guys keep her warm, honey. Her e-guys keep her warm.
If God aligns you with that person, and then all of a sudden now you think that there's something better. We're not talking about under the guidelines of cheating. We're not talking about under the guidelines of, something that could truly break
Like
a
AB.
marriage, right? Yeah, AB or anything like that. We're talking about you just not being happy. This is why I always say the 3 words that a man should always be on his guards for the moment his wife says she's not happy, because women invest too much into happiness. You also invest too much into love.
But
Hey,
like,
GMP.
see,
Hey,
but Mingo, the
hey.
thing with that though is that women are 100% emotional creatures. It may sound, which it can sound anecdotal or ignorant or irresponsible to leave a marriage due to happiness, but women actually experience more negative emotion than positive. And when you have something like that, our emotions get amplified and ignited so intensely to a certain point to where you will crash out at some point. And I think it's not just like, it can't just be a bottom line of, oh, I'm not happy because you're whatever. Because like I said, in the few relationships I have been in, there's a lot of times where women will bring these things to you over periods of time and time, wanting it to be rectified. But because I think we after a while, I think we override women's emotions, because it's just like, oh, you're being a woman and you're being emotional. But a lot of times she's trying to bring you something before she's at her wit's end. And I think it's just something that needs to be horned. You're right. They should be on their guard if their wife says they're not happy, but they should be horning in deeply. They should be tuned in.
No, I'm not gonna, because I'm not in this to make you happy.
Wait, see, hold on. But you see how you literally didn't even let me finish that point, right? It's almost like y'all men have a natural reaction to just, no, I'm not, whatever. It's about listening. It's about emotional reciprocation. It may be something as simple as reassurance for her. And you have to, sometimes it may be annoying, but sometimes if that's your partner, it's not just doing stuff to make her happy. You need to listen to her, and you have to see it from a woman's perspective of why your wife, after 10, 5, 15 years, is feeling some type of way, because it can be corrected. But because men love to override certain stuff like that, by the time she's done is the time now that you're ready to address it. There's people that I know that have been married men, and they've been married for years, and they don't know why their wife has left. You go talk to the wife, she'll run down from point A to point Z on why she left. And I can even say, just throwing this out there, my parents were married for 36 years. My mama got married when she was 18, had kids by 21. She's 63 now, and she's been remarried. And I've seen some stuff within that 36 years of marriage, and it takes two. It takes two to want to be there. You have to do stuff that you may feel like is irrelevant to her happiness. But if you want that woman to be by your side and to perform at what she's supposed to be doing, those things have to be addressed. You have to do something different. Something has to be switched up to accommodate. That's what I think. That's what I.
Well, I just want to say. Wait a minute. I just want to say, I'm not happy.
All right. For me to pack my bag.
I mean, no.
Anyway, and I agree with
I can't. But really and truly, I feel, speaking from a place of experience, have I said that to myself? Yes. Have I felt that before? Yes. I'm not happy. However, I feel like that I've gotten to a place, and I'm gonna call it, of self-awareness and self-evaluation and therapy and all the things, because I believe in all the things. That was something, my happiness and how I feel every day is not contingent on GMT at all. So for me to wake up one day and say, ooh, I'm not happy, I'm going to leave my husband, that's not a him thing. That would never be a him thing. That would be a me thing. And being that I'm at this point in my in my mental health journey or in an emotional growth, I could never see myself saying that, because I feel like if I'm coming to him and I have an issue with, hey, I don't like when XYZ happens, I feel like now I have the language and the tools to be able to say that to him effectively. And being that we've gotten to this place of understanding, he would be able to receive that. Relationships work if you work. And that's not every relationship.
jump in?
You cannot have a healthy friendship. You cannot have a healthy marriage if you're not putting in the work. So people want to sit down and be like, oh, well, I need to figure out myself. And yes, you do. Because like we all touched on, you're going to change. The person that I was when I met him is the person that I am today. And neither is he. So we had to make the adjustments. When I started changing, when after the first year of marriage to the 5th year to now we have a whole baby, all of those things changed. I changed, he changed, and we had to roll with it. And then another 10 years, or whatever, 13 years when we're gonna be empty nesters, we're gonna be different then. So it's like I just feel like
But
to me,
but
I mean, the best way I can say it, it's kind of corny.
Leon, though, one of the key things you said is that you bring it to him and you've learned how to do it effectively and he receives it.
Right.
That's literally the point.
That's the work, though. That's the work that comes into it, though.
And
right.
It's not all the time either. Uma, what were you gonna say?
I have a question for Dion. So I love that. And I feel that's what's needed to make a marriage last is you guys grow together, you learn together. Now, I want to play devil's advocate and ask you, Dion, what if GMT was not receptive? What if anytime there's an issue, he doesn't want to work with you? What if when you're evolving, he doesn't want to evolve? What if like you want to move in a direction that's healthier and good for your family, your relationship, and he doesn't want to support you? Then what if he starts like downplaying you and talking negatively to you? What then?
Prayer. Jesus. Okay. And I'm being honest, that's what I have turned to, where and I'm sure there has been times, I'm 1,000% sure that there's been times where he has been in a space of growth where he's like, I'm trying to get here and I'm growing here and she's being stagnant.
She hasn't grown with me.
Right. Like what's going on? And we have those.
Hold on one second, hon. We've had those seasons, right? We've had those moments where we had to bump heads. And those seasons could last for months. It lasts for months. I'm looking at her like, I'm here, you're not here. What's going on?
I would
I would feel that way. And she's fighting me against it. And then same thing, vice versa. She's here and she's trying to get me there and it's not happening, but that's marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that a lot of people should understand you're not going to always like your spouse.
No.
You're not going to always, because they definitely can be in a different space, while you're in another space or whatever, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. Everybody evolves at their own pace. So it's just going to, you got to give that time.
We got a 199 super chat.
Oh, dang.
Big shout out. Hold on.
We don't have to read that one. We don't have to read that one.
This is super chat.
Y'all ain't got to read the chat.
Super chat. I got to read the chat. Blockchain Beavis says, with a 199 super chat, says, big shout out to GMT. I see just internet still ain't it. So,
Spectrum. It's Spectrum.
Good looking, my guy. Good looking. Every time.
That's
Spectrum.
Damn.
Not gonna say nothing else. We got Spectrum.
Signed up for Verizon.
Spectrum is good to us, okay? Spectrum is
a lot of people don't have
here.
patience, though. A lot of people don't have the patience for a relationship.
Right. And in this comment right here, right? It said that's a fact. It says that's why I say love is a choice and a feeling. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and here's the thing with that as well, right? You invest too much in love. I love my wife to death. But sometimes I don't love her. Sometimes that feeling of love is not there. It's just a feeling, right? What happens then? Do I always just, okay, let's sign the papers?
Right,
But then all of a
right.
sudden, 2 minutes later, I look at her again. I'm like, oh man, I love this girl. Yeah, my baby.
I think so.
I don't know why you said right. Like, right? Like, who's agreeing with you? Nobody.
I had this conversation with my husband before we got married about like versus love. So I say like. I rather like my husband than love him, because like is going to get us through when I am communicating an unmet need through conflict, right?
Interesting.
We have that dynamic where I struggle, and I'm being very honest. I really did struggle communicating unmet needs in a way that he can receive them.
Right.
So I had to evolve in the way that I communicate unmet needs, because my communication style was, you ain't doing what I want you to do, and I'm gonna give you the count to 10 to get it right. If you don't get it by 10,
That's the count to 10.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That used to be a way that I communicated with people. And I've seen that in other marriages. Mind you, my parents are married. My grandparents have been married for 60 years. I grew up in a family where women are married, but they're feisty in the way that they communicate unmet needs. And that doesn't work for the man that I decided to marry and be with, right? So I had to change that communication style. Hence, this is why we say everybody's marriage is their personal way and how they want to build with each other. And because of this establishment of like between us, so we have likenesses, as in we find things in common. We have safe words. We have little sayings to like put our guards down so that we can communicate effectively between each other, even when we're beefing with each other. And we have been through newborn. We just had a baby. So this newborn stage where you're keeping score on different stuff and beefing because you not the same, he not the same. We trying to figure out, we ain't got no sleep. It's a whole bunch of stuff happening around us, right? So we had to come to grips with what are ways for us to put our defenses down so that we can effectively communicate our unmet needs. Now that work came from counseling. It comes from individual counseling. It comes from us doing marriage counseling. I'm a big proponent of that. If you really want to get to the heart of your communication style, having that mediator or that counselor there to listen to how you talk to each other helps you kind of like hash out whatever your issues are. It helps us communicate effectively. And I realized that I take the same, I want to say, proponents to friendships as well. I know we're not talking about friendships, but friendships are definitely work as well. If you want to water those relationships, you have to find a way to effectively communicate an unmet need. And you also have to understand how the party receives that in conflict, because that can either be do or die. And a lot of people are taught to flee. They're never taught to stick and stay. And I've been,
that's my problem, Tiara. A lot of what you see happening today is, and I say this, and I'm saying this, and I'm going to give it to agenda, right? I'm not going to put this on men, because the divorce rates show that men are not the ones overtly filing for divorce. So I'm going to put this on women. Women invest more into their friendships than they do their relationships. Why is that? That is true.
That's not true, because even in
that is true.
Even in friendship, I'm going to say this, even in friendship, they're not even communicating unmet needs, and they're not even communicating beefs.
Friends be ghosting each other all the time. Like, let's not act like that would be a thing. People did not be answering their phone.
But y'all would rather work it out. Y'all would rather figure it out before y'all end up getting a divorce with y'all husband.
I mean,
but y'all see, oh, that's gonna be my girlfriends forever. I'm not saying any woman on this panel, right? Because there's married women on this panel. So y'all obviously understands the dynamics of making it work. I'm looking at the statistics, right? I'm looking at on average. The average woman is just jumping out of her relationship as fast as she jumps out of her bed every morning. And then praying to God that some other man is gonna come catch her. That's the
Lord have
problem.
mercy.
But like, I mean, how do we know if there's anything that was deeper going on in the divorce though, or like in the relationship for why they just up?
Don't
up and
matter.
down?
It don't matter. We're not talking about cheating, right? Average.
But what if
Because
that was the thing?
if something as far as cheating goes and it's something you can't look past, because I don't even feel like I understand it on the men's side. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a different topic. It's a different
Oh
topic.
my
I understand
I
why
mean,
men
can we segue
we don't
in here?
accept it.
Dang it. Like,
No,
here.
we ain't segueing it. But when a man cheats, I understand some women can see past it, and if they could see past it, fine, right? It
Wait,
could work
repeat
out.
that.
And let's say that I said if a woman can see past cheating, fine, and it works out fine. And then, but if the man cheats again, and let him go. If the man is not supporting you in the places that matter, right? He's leaving you dry. Even the Bible has things where if your husband abandons you, that's a call for divorce. An abandonment could look like so many different ways.
Mhm.
He could just be leaving you out dry. Yeah, but you're not happy is not a reason for divorce. That means you invested too much in your happiness. You literally took that part of being happy in a marriage literal. Which you was
Something that Tiara said, I thought that was interesting. Saying that for her, liking her husband is more important than loving him.
Yes,
Do
that's
the super chat first. Do the super chat.
we got a $2 super chat. My man
Yay.
Matt says GMT women are gifted curse, brah, which is the truth.
I just want to I have to leave, guys. I'm booked for another show, but I want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity of having me here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Buenos noches.
We'll holla.
My Shiro.
Not Shiro. So I thought that was interesting because for me, I feel that love is more important than liking. Really? And I base that primarily on my personal belief system as it relates to the Bible. So that's what I go off of. Like, okay, well, I don't feel like love is fleeting. There's more to love than just it being an emotion. People have it read at just about every daggone, wedding at this point. It's in Corinthians where it says love is patient, love is kind, love is long suffering, love bears all things, love, this is what love is. So if we're putting two people together and we're saying, I love you, it's not just a flimsy word. It's not this whimsical, over romanticized, fantastical word. It to me is a duty. There is a duty there where you're promising all of these things. I'm going to be patient with you. I'm going to understand you. I'm going to bear the weight of just the heaviness that life can bring because I love you. I will take that off of you. So liking, I don't have to like GMT all day. I don't. And sometimes I don't. But I love him every day. The love is what gets me through. And not in a sense of like, oh my gosh, it's just the most difficult thing in the world. It's the fact that I made a decision to love him. I made a decision when it came to, okay, not just in marriage, when I decided to say I love this person, that changed the game for me. I wasn't just throwing that word all willy-nilly.
See that comment? You see that comment?
I gotta put my glasses on. Hold on.
It says, you better love my boy.
Okay, Matthew, relax. So anyway, like, whoa. I don't remember seeing you at the wedding, boy, but I appreciate you. But anyway,
you're gonna be invited to the next the next wedding. Not like that. The vow renewal.
Yeah.
We know what you meant. We know what you meant.
Yeah, he ain't crazy.
But no, I definitely agree with you, Dion. I definitely agree with you because
when I say like, I just say like I just really dig this person and I made a commitment to this person, and that is I get that like versus love thing from my mother. Because she said, you know, when a man just likes you, he just wants you around. He wants to see you happy, but he's also making a commitment to be there, even in the hard times.
What is okay? What
But
is
you don't
that
think that's
noise?
love?
And she told me it was like, and I was like, okay. She said, if he likes you, he just likes you. And then she said, but love is a feeling. She said it's more of a feeling. It comes and it goes because love is like, you know.
Wait,
That's exactly
That's
what
the
I
way
just
my
said.
mom explained it to me. So I ain't gonna
that's
be
okay.
your mommy. She was right.
That's what I'm saying. It's okay. I mean, she still was teaching you something, but
yeah.
I mean,
Sarah, you got to
What
feedback.
is that?
yeah, who
What is
who
that?
said
That's not me.
That's
That's
not
not
you.
me.
I think
Hit,
it's
hit the mute
Jess.
button.
I think
No,
it's
that's not
Jess.
you.
I mean, hit mine.
I'm telling you, I think it's Jess. I don't know
No.
why.
It's gotta be.
Nah, why we putting on
Just hit your mute button.
I'm muted.
Somebody got a feedback. Somebody got a feedback.
It's
A
not
bad
me.
one. Hold on. Let me see. I just muted Jess. And I don't hear it
I
anymore.
was just muted, and I'm now unmuted.
Jess, I just unmuted you. And it's coming from you, Jess.
I said it was Jess.
Man, that Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi. Yo, that's Spectrum, man.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You
somebody
love
was saying
Spectrum
that
here.
love.
Spectrum's
Somebody
A1.
said love is just a feeling, and it's not. It's more about humility, you know, and being humble, because sometimes you're gonna be uncomfortable doing something or doing something for your mate. And a lot of times, like they say, it's patience, kindness. You can't be boastful or loud, which my husband always get on me. He said,
That's what it said in the Bible too. It is not prideful. It is not boastful. That's what it said in the word. Praise God.
Right. I just wanted to add that. To it.
That was good.
But T-Larry,
Tell Blockchain to buy her.
He said you got the dollar. He said you got the dollar.
AOL,
But Tiara, I think your mom, the way you explained it is her point of view on the guy liking you, like how he should handle you overall, not just like being the main factor, but you can tell a guy likes you by how he handles you. I think that's what the way you
she was explaining, like, she was just explaining how guys or men are intentional about people they want in their lives, specifically their wives. And this is just based off of her relationship with my father. And the way, and I come from a father where he was in the home. So the way he is with my mother, he allows her to be her without feeling threatened as a man. He still has leadership. He is the leader, right? But my mom is her. She is very ambitious, very outspoken. She is me. Actually. So if you want to understand like who my mother is, we are the worst probably to a lot of men. But to the men that love us, they get it. And I think things like that is like they are comfortable in their manhood that they don't have to. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
So hold on.
You better lay off my girl, bro.
1 second. Yo, so
wait, what did he say? Wait, what
we
did
gotta
he
do? That told you. He talk about Justice Internet. So here's what we gotta do, right? Everyone hit the super chat button, $1.99, $2.99, it don't matter. We gotta donate to Justice Internet Fund. We are gonna start this.
Crazy.
We are gonna make this happen.
Maybe
We are going.
We could just switch her to Verizon. I know a guy.
You know a guy.
Relax. We're not doing that. We're gonna start some game wars in here. We don't want that. We're gonna have some game wars in here. We're gonna intervene over the S's. Don't do that.
Now,
We don't need that kind of drama.
My box closer. If it doesn't work after that, he's Spectrum.
Nah, this is
Yeah,
this looking
you
like
got it. You're gonna have to
AOL.
leave Spectrum
This
after
is
that.
giving
This is
AOL,
straight
bro. It's
hard
giving catfish.
internet.
But I do have a question, right? And I'm not, you know, yeah. So my question is, being that, okay, I feel like, you know, some of us either know someone that's been divorced or have family members that have been divorced. Do you feel like the advice given from a previously divorced person is substantial? Would you find their advice to be valuable? Because I feel like I'm
I want to
asking the
answer that.
question. I know, but I'm just gonna give my little viewpoint on it. Is I feel like sometimes what I've noticed with some women, I ain't even gonna hold you up, you know, some of them be older, like the seasoned saints. They give a little bitter. I'm just saying, they give a little like
This is
salty,
what I'm
like,
saying.
you know what I'm saying?
What
It
I'm
is
saying is
weird.
this. What I'm saying is this.
But go ahead.
Do not listen to a divorced woman. A divorced woman will keep you single because she is gonna. I agree. I agree that you disagree.
Well, it was for
here's why.
everybody.
And why I say that is because usually a lot of women come out of divorces and preach, I'm happy and I'm better and I'm this and I'm that. But like I said, I look at the stats. I look at what studies are saying about divorced women. So don't listen to divorced women. When you hear a man get divorced, talk to him. Most men that get divorced will still tell you marriage is not a bad thing.
I've had
They'll
a
still tell
lot
you-
of divorced men tell me don't get married, especially the old.
I
Especially
don't know who you talking to. But that,
I'm sorry, GMT.
and then they advocate to me for why they'll never get remarried. Like, I see that
listen,
a lot.
I've talked to way more men in my lifetime. I've talked to
GMT.
way more men in my lifetime, and I can tell you that most divorced men will tell you that.
No.
What are you talking about? There's men on the internet all day long that was married and still stay advocating
Okay.
for marriage.
I got a question.
What you guys think?
I have asked my homies, like, you know, so how's the married life? You know, like, what's going on? Well, I mean, it's cool or whatever, but
Because they trying to clap your cheeks.
Ain't nobody thinking about my cheeks. I've known him, like, case in point, one of my friends that's still married, known him longer than anybody's You asked him, you know, again, yo, what up, homie? How's married life? Things going, whatever. And, you know, it's cool, but, you know, if I get divorced, I'd never do it again. I'm about to say I would
They
never.
do be like that. They be like that.
They do though.
But have you made it without actually divorced though?
And that's a lot of them. It's a couple. It's a good amount.
Right.
Like I'd be like, oh boy.
Right. Like I said, they want to clap them cheeks, but
First, married men are the most single men in the world. So if they wanted to clap cheeks, they would just express.
Those are the married men that you around.
I used to work.
No, I'm around you, and somehow I don't think that about you. Ooh.
Right. But it's not all.
Right.
It's not
right.
all.
And I didn't
But
say
here,
it was all.
I
didn't say it was all. So don't be throwing your little shady shots. Mm-mm.
Here's the thing. Boombox, go ahead. What were you going to say, Boombox?
I just had a question. I was just going to ask, why is it okay to listen to the ex-married men and not the ex-married women?
Because women give horrible advice.
And the fact that you said that is crazy. That's very sexist. I don't like that.
Oh, well. I don't like it.
Jess came off mute for that. Okay, she's like, y'all gonna hear this static in my voice. Get him, Jess.
In that case, why are we
using Jess?
If that's the case, why are we here?
That's right.
I'll tell y'all why y'all here, right? Because it's never all. It's never all. That's why y'all here. When I speak, the problem is a lot of y'all always say y'all here and y'all think oh, he's talking about me. Oh my God, me. No, I'm not talking about you.
Are you talking about me?
But on average, look at the Black community in and in itself. You could say we live in a patriarchal world, but the Black community itself is in a matriarchal society. It's the truth.
Mhm.
It's the truth. What Black women has ran our community for years. Big Mama has ran our community for years. It hasn't gotten any better from the advice that you got from your mama, your mama's mama, and
Kamala
your mama's
Harris be out there
mama.
trying to run stuff, and all the other Black people she's locked up.
Well,
Oh, that internet, Jessica, that internet. Go ahead, what you
I
got to say?
don't know if that's the same.
Men are delusional.
Men are delusional. That's what she said.
Men
I
do be
agree.
living in that delusion. I personally feel like men have a stronger delusion than women do. That's what I feel.
Delulu is
That's
true,
why they
too.
can. That's why they get fired in life and
That's
not have
Delulu.
all the qualifications because they are
The
delusional.
Delulu is true. Okay.
How is that when men have built everything you look at?
Oh, wait,
The
wait.
reason
No,
why you're sitting on this
Oh,
internet
Lord.
right now is
Please,
because
We're not
of
gonna compare.
the whole reason why Jessica internet is bad because a woman
A
tried
man
to take
built
over
it? Is what
Spectrum.
you said?
She tried to take over Spectrum.
Before.
And
What are we talking about?
happened-
Agreement.
So,
You cannot get defensive. You can't get defensive because I didn't say all men. I said men.
yeah, you're right. Listen, and it's never all. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm not saying you guys give. Yo, Kit gave some sound advice the other day. I was like, oh snap, I would listen to that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be
So
hearing
can I-
Boombox say some stuff, and I'll be like, yo,
can I
I listen.
circle
But
back?
hold up, no. When I hear that Cardi B is
Yo.
an historian,
You better stop.
But I knew he was about to
I
go there.
sit back
I
and
was going
say,
to circle
oh,
back to what Boombox said regarding why you can get advice from divorced men versus divorced women, because the divorced women I knew who knew I was getting married, the sound advice they said was listen to him before you speak.
and like I said, it's never all.
The
So you had
sound
some-
advice
you
that I
had
got
some
was
wise
if you
women.
can prevent your divorce, do that.
You have wise women in your corner.
The sound advice that I got was
Preach.
your ego can kill your relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
You're
The
preaching.
sound advice I got from the Black women that were divorced around me was pray about everything before you say anything.
Preach, sister, preach. Yeah, you better get them. Yeah.
I
all
was
that
like,
crap.
where's
Listen,
So I
listen.
don't know who these folks telling folks not to get married, but amongst I would say community.
You know what you
amongst
mean?
our
You don't
community of
know.
folks,
What do you
they
mean you
have been
don't
saying
know?
get married. They
Oh
haven't.
my
They
God.
haven't discouraged you from marriage. They have, but they realized they also gave me sound advice through their shortcomings in their marriage.
Right.
They
Listen,
said, you know,
y'all
y'all
missing the point. And like I said, you are very
What is it?
anecdotal. You're like, yo, my situation is like this, so it's average. No, it's not. No, it's not. Your situation is your situation. The divorce rate, all those women telling you what they told you, fine, I'm with it all day. But let's keep it real. Turn on your TV, turn on the internet, go talk to the average woman just out there on the street who's
My
man-hating
TikTok got
all
everybody
day.
getting married. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, your TikTok, you lying cat. TikTok is TikTok.
I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
gonna go
about.
get my blue cap for that. You
They be
cap.
dancing with they
You
little
lying.
There's a lot of couple stuff going on my page too.
But wait, the things that I see, most of the people getting divorced and be having parties.
Go turn on and watch
happy.
The View. Watch The View. A bunch
is
of
the
men
For You-
hating women.
For You
Watch
page.
all of this stuff going on that is straight men.
Oh, Whoopi
Stay away
Goldberg wanted
from
was to
men.
say no, she don't want nobody in her house. That's
what she
fine.
said. That is what she said.
Beyond
She did say
Goldberg.
that.
What they've been saying for
Still
years.
said
They
she was
just
did
got-
say that.
She's claiming.
Really, ladies?
She never.
Really,
she said
ladies,
she
do I
never-
gotta pull up the panel? Do I gotta pull up the panel where they all was talking about do we need a man? And the married women on that panel was saying that I don't even need my husband. The only time I need my husband is for sex and to mow the lawn. Y'all not gonna sit here and tell me that these women
That's not every woman.
But then you have a whole sector of
guess
men
what they're
listening to Fresh
teaching
and Fit.
y'all? Because
Wait,
y'all no, but
You
are
have
we
a
divorcing you though?
Fresh and Fit.
Are we divorcing you though? So y'all are still divorcing. So y'all are listening to these women, not y'all, but women are listening to these women. And guess what? 70% of divorces are filed by y'all. No, 80% in the Black community are filed by y'all. 50% overall. It's not a lie. It's a stat.
I said that's a lot.
But yeah, it's
See, you gotta be active listening. You wasn't actively listening.
Emotionally charged that he can't hear the lots versus
he is revved up like the Energizer Bunny.
He was ready for someone to cut him.
I don't want your blood pressure to get high. You was pausing on.
Okay, I got a headache again, man.
See, and that's why a lot of married men live long. You see, she's worried about his blood pressure.
But like GMT, like the same way we can like.
I can't hear nothing. I hear 5 people talking at the same time.
But GMT, like, okay, like I get we can look at the women and see what they're promoting and what they're talking about. But I think we should also be having a conversation about like the stuff that men are promoting now either. Because it's not even like it's a one-sided thing. Like it goes back to what I was saying before, is like the culture itself. Everybody is promoting that. Like, and you hear men dog talk it more than women do. I think women I feel like women now are coming out saying crazy, ridiculous stuff is because men have been saying it for a long time.
Miranda, you showing your age by saying that. You showing your age by saying that. Because you obviously have no idea what the talk shows have promoted.
But GMT, if we're looking at it, it's Gen Z, and where I guess I'm right at the millennial cutoff, or I'm right before Gen Z. Those are the ones that's going to be carrying out this idea that marriage has no value in nothing. We're going to see the generation for the first time actually develop into situationships and pleasure contracts and a bunch of bullshit. So there's certain things begin to fall off around your age group, but we're gonna really see the manifestation and the numbers.
I'm old, huh?
No, but I'm young because of what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is that when we really look at the statistics 5 or 10 years from now, it's going to be drastically different because it's Gen Z and 96 on that is going to carry out this mentality. And if you look at these modern celebrities and social media people that you're talking about, half of them are promoting who? They're promoting what? They're targeting it to the younger children because they realize that's the next generation. So it's not anecdotal or bullshit to say like, oh well, it's the age you that's a fact. You obviously you didn't hear what I said, because what I said was when I said that you're showing your age had nothing to do with you not knowing anything. It had a lot to do with you not understanding what was said in the media prior to you being born. Men literally just got divorced during this YouTube era. Actually, I'm gonna be very precise. Hold on. I'm gonna be very precise to what I'm saying. YouTube is my generation.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. Men literally started speaking up for other men in a large number during that whole Kevin Samuels era.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was women that was trashing men on daytime talk shows. Oprah had to come out and disprove everything she said. You have to say, you know what? Black men are the most involved fathers. She apologized for her mistakes that she did. You had what's that magazine that was out? Oh my God. Cosmopolitan. Who had to apologize for pushing what they pushed onto women and furthering the feminist agenda of that I don't need a man. Yeah. Because guess what?
I never thought that magazine was for us.
All those white women were going home to their All those white women were going home to their husbands while y'all were divorcing yours. And they knew it. And they did it on purpose because they know, here's the thing. They knew that if they created divorces and they separated the man from the woman is the biggest spender in the economy. So they knew if you were out there, your man is not going to tell you, don't go buy that. That's not part of our budget. Don't do that. So the agenda to push divorce in our community was huge.
I will say this though. Even in our even in our entertainment, like, because people be like, oh, well, it was a feminist agenda and all of this. I remember INDEPENDENT. You know what that is?
We got our own house. We got our own car. Sorry, got excited.
Job, work hard. You a bad broad. Wait, even Neo, she got her own thing.
Yeah. Can we talk about Jay-Z? Jay-Z.
Hit them notes, girl.
Big
no one can't. No.
But wait.
Yo,
what I'm
but
saying, stop. What I'm saying is that you all have a way of perpetuating things in our society. We live in a patriarchal society. Men are the ones that have the common power in our society. I'm not talking about directly. I'm talking about the Black community. I'm talking about the society as a whole. All put out information that said, "Oh, we are more desirable when we come and we have this certain level of thing." And then
who put that out though? Who put that out? You talking about Neo?
I'm talking about it wasn't just them. I'm talking about what
NDP. So come on.
You can't say that Sexy
Neo
Red,
and
Webby. You can't say that Sexy Red feeds information one way, but then can't say that Neo and all of these other
listen, he wasn't, because here's the thing. No,
men literally
gotta read the super chat.
Let me read this super chat, please. Okay, Queen.
Hey, don't be raising my husband's blood pressure now. I gotta live with that.
So here's the thing.
Baby, calm down.
Queen Lala in the building. She sent a $9.99 super chat. She says, so are men telling women to dress and behave like Sexy Red, or other women raising their daughters to be Sexy Red? That's why women need men's leadership.
Oh, girl.
And it's true. And it's true. And it's true.
Anyways, Kit was trying to make a valid point.
Okay, let's go back to
let's let Kit
say what she was going to say. That was irrelevant.
Yeah. No, it wasn't irrelevant. It was not irrelevant. It was very relevant to the topic.
Stupid.
It was not stupid. It was very relevant to the topic. Just because y'all don't like something doesn't mean it's stupid or irrelevant. Just because it doesn't fit your narrative doesn't mean that either. But
it's just not the point. But go ahead.
Guess what? And clearly she needs men's leadership, and there's nothing wrong with that. A couple of people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. For those who need it, I implore them to get it, and I implore them to have it, and I implore them to embrace it and make it work for them. What I'm saying is this: in our patriarchal society, we had several men telling us in one way or another that when you have your own thing and you're doing this and that and the third, you are more desirable. You are attractive because you got your whole this, that, and the third. And then when we started acting on that and becoming more independent, all of a sudden male ego started getting hurt because we was out here catching a bag bigger than they ever expected. Really? And then all of a sudden, so am I gonna finish or you can?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You already say I'm capping. Go get your blue cap so you can be ready to put it on. I'm
so quick.
GMT is a good GMT. Ain't that right, Dion?
Yo,
so, again,
so quick.
What I'm saying is this: when we have people, again, you can't say that Sexy Red teaches, young girls to, be the, lady walkers, if you will, for, trying to keep it, GMT-ish, but can't say that these men didn't do the same thing with telling us that being independent and having your own thing and doing your own thing was more desirable than someone that was needy. Because I personally feel like that was the start of the beginning of the whole 50-50 argument. Because now women have a bag, women have, their own thing, they're independent. Before it was like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, you do this. Now we
you gonna land this plane?
My half or whatever. Look, don't get me started, Chad. I was quiet all damn eating my grapes. Okay, I was quiet eating my grapes.
And them grapes is infused. I can tell they are infused. So here's the thing, right?
They can't eat grapes. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
You can tell it. So
Maybe.
here's the thing. Here's why I could combat everything you just said. You literally mentioned 2 songs. 2 songs. And hold up.
Would you like
mentioned
me to
Neo,
read more?
and I don't even
This
know who the
comment's
other guy.
wild.
I don't even
I can
know.
read more.
I don't.
There's a lot.
Hold up. I don't even know the other guy. But you're talking about 2 songs. The feminist movement was way before that. I have videos on my computer right now. I can share right now from the 1980s when black men wasn't saying go out there and be
They encouraged it. I didn't say that they started it.
Hold on.
They encouraged it.
I'm not going to take away from the fact that some of them may have encouraged it, but it wasn't on average most rappers that was doing that. Most rappers still to this day are not telling you we want an independent queen. No. Most are telling you to be submissive for the most part. If it's not about something sexual, if it's not about something,
they want you to be
if it's not
exotic, almost like the what you call
sexy,
it, the escort.
it's more. You could even say that they're pushing the prostitute culture.
Yeah.
You could say hip hop pushes that, but you can't sit here and say we push the independent culture. We don't do that. Women do that. Women push be this woman, be a queen. They came out with a whole damn movie called The Woman King. Are you serious?
Hey, what's her name? Did a thing on that now?
It was a good movie.
Viola Davis did
That was a historical. That was a historical.
That's not. That's actually happened. That was like real life. Like, let's not go there.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't historically correct.
Don't do it, because I am going to chop and screw this if y'all sit there and talk about this being a major. That was a real part of history.
I said no.
Wait a
minute. No, that wasn't. That wasn't historically correct.
And I will go viral off of y'all. I'm telling you.
Nobody. So you're saying The Woman King was contrived off of Hollywood? I'm sorry, that's not.
See, nobody said it was facts. We said it was a good movie.
No,
because it's not.
There was actually an all-woman tribe in
and it did not go down. It did not go down the way that it looked like it went down.
Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know if that's true either. We ain't there.
None of us was there, but all we know is that what it actually says that happened was, were they strong women? Yes. But did they depend on their men in the village? Yes. But they didn't put it like that because they keep telling y'all black women to be that men. So anyways, let's I got me losing my marbles tonight, boy.
You lost some marbles before you got on here.
No, I need some grapes.
There's some grapes in the refrigerator. You should get some.
I need infused grapes.
So what do you think? Where do you think we should go now if we're at this point? What should women be advocating to the youth?
What I think women should advocate to women is, if you desire the young women, because the old women is old and it's past, they can't do nothing about it. They're stuck in their ways.
That's crazy.
The young women that desire marriage, you should tell them, if marriage is your desired result, do so early on. And then learn how to understand men, because we are not like you, which is why we are not partners. I don't want to be your partner. So men and women are different, of equal importance, but different.
Oh,
it doesn't mean that I'm better than you.
Do you think men could do a better job of understanding women? Because I do hear it a lot where men will say that they're misunderstood, or they would like for their woman to understand them. But at the same time, do you think a lot of our
you guys want us to be like y'all? Not y'all.
No, that's
women in general want us to be like y'all, but we're not like y'all.
Okay, wait, bring that down right there. Wait, pause.
That's not even the answer.
Like y'all.
Yeah, that's not even the answer.
I'll break it down.
No, that's not even the answer, because it
is an answer.
It's not, because the question is, do you think that men could do a better job of understanding women? Because if they did, a lot of our
I think we do understand y'all.
Do you think you guys could do a better job of efficiently understanding? Because you was okay, cool. Because I hear it a lot where it's like y'all want to be understood. Yes, we are different, but I think it's like a power move when you guys want to be understood so bad, and when we try to voice really anything to a certain degree, it's be quiet, you're emotional, or this is not a partnership.
How many men shut you down, MRT?
It's not about shutting me down. It's about having an effective conversation.
Right. So if you can say on your day-to-day when you're with your man, not on the panel, but when you're with a man, right? Or any man that you may have been with, how many men sit there and try not to understand you that you've been with? I'm not saying you've been with a lot of men, but what I'm saying is the men that you have been with, do they try not to understand you?
There's been plenty of times where, I still was never understood after multiple conversations. So yes.
So maybe you're not, but have you ever thought that maybe you're not conveying your wants and desires correctly to that man?
That could be it, but that's not the basis of what we're discussing. The basis of what we're
part of it.
No,
if you're asking me, hold on, let me tell you why. Because if you're asking me, can men understand women? It's a part of that. If you're not telling me exactly what you want, because I think men overall understand women. We've been hearing what y'all want for years.
But
so it's
why is there still such a disconnect? Why are we still having these?
Because y'all don't want to understand us.
But you're proving my point.
Like everybody wants to be selfish.
Yes, everybody wants to be heard.
So nobody's not being heard.
Right.
That's what I think.
It's a power play. It's because y'all are overpowering wanting to be heard and listen so bad that we're still having petty conversations on the internet across the board. This is probably one of the most effective podcasts where we can have these discussions. If you go out there and look at the rest of them, a lot of them
it's horrible. It's horrible.
Because men are trying to overpower whatever there is that they want to be understood. And we get it. Y'all want respect and submission. Trust me, we get that. But there is a major disconnect when it comes to the man reciprocating the woman. And I'm not, and obviously it, whoever you married to, you would be dedicated to understanding her, right? But I'm saying in an overall conversation or just overall, I believe, which you did agree, that men could do a better job of understanding a woman and actually
now vice versa
situations. So that's
so vice versa. Does that work for you too? Could you feel like that women could do a better job in understanding men?
It has to be. It has to be. Yes, I'm always dedicated to learning and hearing anybody out because I love people. Period.
All right. Awesome. I don't think most women think like you, but we have a guest on the panel, Serge. What is good, my guy? You are in the building.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, room?
Hi.
So I just wanted to make a statement. Grown men talking. Do you understand that women are a direct reflection of who men are today?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Let me. Okay, you don't. Okay, I'm gonna help you see it. Are men the leaders?
We're supposed to be, but women have to allow men to lead.
No,
in every society, women choose to lead in other societies because they were taught that way. Our women weren't taught that.
I'm not minimizing the fact that they are doing things for sure. Like we talk about the leaving the relationship part. I'm not minimizing that. They definitely do that. But men don't pick women that flake on relationships. Boys that are incomplete get flaked on by women because they're incomplete, and women have an innate sensor in them given to them by God that when weak men bend to them, usually it's through sex because that's men's biggest weakness. Women don't like weak men at all. Strong men don't bend to women based off their physical or anything that they offer sexually. Strong men make commitments. Women are reflecting who men are. The reason why they can't listen is because we don't listen to our head. The reason why they out of order is because we out of order with our head. This is why I got off the red pill, because they got everything right but the spirituality. They want to talk about money, but they don't want to talk about how we leading them spiritually.
But and listen, can I jump in real quick because I actually tried to make that point earlier.
Let me address that. Let me address
that point earlier.
MRT, let me address that. So
Okay.
Serge, you know you're my guy. I rock with some things you say.
Don't pre it. Just lay it on it.
I gotta pre it on you. You know what I'm saying? Do I believe that men are supposed to lead their families as far as the head and as far as following God goes? Yeah, right. But as far as everything else you're saying, yo, a woman has to allow in every culture, right? Women know that they have to allow their man to lead their relationship because every woman says, I want a leader for the most part. So then now, the Black culture is different. Us men, me, you, were primarily raised by who?
Moms.
Right. So if that's being said, if the mom was choosing a man that did not commit to her, that did not choose to be her leader, she didn't want that. She didn't care about that. Now, here goes the kids in our age bracket now, 40s, 50s. Here we are today, don't even understand how to lead because we were never taught that by the men in our past because we had no men in our past. There were no men teaching us what to do. So who's to blame? You're playing the chicken or the egg when you talk like that. But when you play that, you got to be very careful. And when you dissect, because when you dissect something like that, you have to now say, okay, well, who's to blame? You're going to put it on the men, really? When we have no sense of leadership. Prior to 1960, we were married at an 80% rate. We were married higher than white people. The moment the feminist movement dropped, the moment the government dropped welfare and they dropped all of that stuff, the women said, I don't need a man anymore. And it was by design. It was by design. Because to break a community, you separate the man from it. Yep. You know about that whole welfare system that happened in most major cities where if a woman lived in a project, she could not have a husband in the house for her. You know that, right? So if that's the case, those women back in 1980s, back in the 1970s, and back in the 1960s, when they were offered these specific benefits and it seemed beneficial to the family to where it's like, I got videos I could play for you now where young women were like, they had all the babies sitting on their laps in 1985. And they said, yo, I don't feel like I need a man. And the guy's like, y'all crazy. You really don't feel like you need a man? No, I
played that in my
So guess what, though? So guess what, though? Guess what, though, Serge?
Yo.
I'm that kid today. That was sitting on my mama lap. I'm him. I heard her say that.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
So I just want to touch on that because things that you have just stated was about a system that was put in place that was also put in place by white America. Mm-hmm. Let's say that. Let's start there. Right. Now that those systems are not as active, we're not saying that they don't still exist. We're saying that the stronghold that comparative from the 60s and 70s to now being in the 2020s, what's the excuse now that Black men cannot be leaders in the community?
I'm that kid that's sitting on his mom's lap hearing her say, I don't need a man.
Okay, so
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is to be a man.
Yeah.
That is something that you have to be taught from small. Manhood is nothing to play with. It is nothing that women juggle on some, I can have his stepdaddy raise him. Oh, his stepdaddy leaves. Oh, I can have another man come in. Or I can have his uncle or Papa Pookie. Like, no. Being a father and having a father needs to be something that is stapled from the beginning.
But the father has to also.
Why aren't the men stagnant?
The father has to also feel like that. Yeah.
Yes, but if men are not taught that way, then what do we do?
But
If men
the
are
men
not
are
forced to
also
stay, then what do we do? Men stay. Black men are buried at a higher rate than black women.
Yeah,
So
don't use that.
the stats in itself makes sense. Men stay.
no,
Men want to
that's
be
not what I'm
married.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, you know, when you were saying back then, when the women were saying they don't need a man. Okay, so the men, to me, just my opinion, kind of made that situation easier to choose because
You want me to play that video for you, Boombox? Because I could play the video, and you would see what some of those women was putting the men through.
That's not
It is the point.
no,
not
I'm just
You
saying,
can't.
like,
not what
It's
she
the point, because what those men back then. You saying why didn't those men stay back then? Because
no.
if you have such a disagreeable woman, do you know how hard it is to stay with her?
Well, I mean, it's hard, period. On both ends, it's hard to make it work when you have other outsiders attacking your relationship anyway. Because, you know, even with the, oh, well, we'll give you this amount of food stamps if there's no man in the home, you know, all of these, you know, tactics were used. But also, you know, I'm saying, he's gonna play that. Also, I'm saying, like, even before that, you know, because a lot of times the women weren't working, they were just home and they were taking care of the kids, and that was okay, it worked. But then a lot of cases, you know, these women were still hearing about their husbands out there with other women. So these type of situations made it easy for the woman to just be like, okay, well, I'll just go over here and they'll help me. Now I don't need this guy to have a place or to take care of home or whatever. You know, that's what
I'm gonna play something real quick, and I'm gonna show you what makes it so difficult for us today.
You already got the clip?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father. One. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so, you know, it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
And you know why I want to cry when I see that flick? Because that little boy sitting on that woman's lap could have been me.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
So, but do you know why she's saying that though?
Why?
Big bro, it's because it's very, very simple. Women are weak for men. They allow themselves to lay down with males who are not equipped. And then we're so shocked when they realize that we're not equipped. And then they say, I'm not going to be in a relationship with you because you're not equipped. There's something in them given to them by God, man, that they are not getting with weak men. It still falls back on us. You said that they gotta let us lead. We ain't letting our
why are they choosing the weak men then?
Well,
how does that fall on you, Serge? How does that fall on you, Serge, if they're not choosing the strong men?
How does that fall on me that they're not choosing? I don't understand.
No. How does that fall on men if women are not choosing the strong men?
Well, here's the thing. Women they have to understand that men are the examples, and the weak men are not the examples. They don't even know the difference between a strong man and a weak man. If they're choosing the weak men because the strong men are not being examples. We don't have very many strong men. Strong men have to do their part, and the weak men will follow behind the strong men.
Why are you saying we don't? But you know you're speaking against. You're basically, Serge, you're shitting on black men. and I can't let you do that.
But
You saying that?
What are black men doing?
And why I'm saying that? What do you mean? What are black men doing? Black men, 56% of black men are single and in the middle class and childless. Black men are doing just fine.
I'm not worried about their money. I'm worried about their spirit.
No,
Black
you
men are
missed.
not
I'm not specifically talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, are they ready to be men and married? Yes. So to sit there and say that men in general, black men, and I'm putting it on black, are not doing fine in the dating market and not ready to be husbands when we are married at a higher rate than our lady counterpart.
Okay, I see where you're going. Black men are the least likely to be ready in relationships out of any other race due to the simple fact because they are they're rebellious in the sense of they don't do right by the woman, meaning they're not even, a man isn't even supposed to enter a woman without giving her a full commitment.
But women are letting them. Women are letting them. Whose fault is that, though? Women are letting them. Men will sleep with whoever.
We're the leaders. We got to do it first.
It's not just. Guess what? Black men are not the only people that's sleeping around. White men are doing it. Asian men are doing it. Spanish men are doing it. So why are you putting that just like black men aren't ready for it?
Well, we got to deal with us first.
So
black men stop being builders.
Why I'm saying that though is because you're making it sound like black men are the ones that's not doing it. When we are saying we want commitment. Our women are telling us they don't. Our women want to be the sexy reds. They want to be twerking. Even the ones that doesn't want to be like them, they stand too close to them. So we can't tell who is who. So this is why they have access to it.
I was going to say they should never have access to strong men, and they do. They do.
Who does?
Women. So let's use Kevin as an example. I love Kevin, but the brother ain't perfect. Are you telling me Ratchets didn't have access to him? He wasn't laying it down on some Ratchets, some fake titty, fake asses.
He was sleeping with them. So what?
Yeah,
that's how he died. But that's what he's saying.
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to shame a dead person on the page.
It was an example, though.
But that's so. If you wanted to look at it like that, though, if that man wanted to be a husband, he could be. He could have been, because we hold the keys to being husbands. We hold the key. Women hold the key to sex. We hold the key to marriage. So knowing that black men are married at a higher rate,
but they're not always married to black women. Like a lot of times,
because those black men are saying, guess what? I can't find an agreeable black woman, so I want to be a husband. But best believe most black men, you are our first choice.
Yeah, and when you guys talk about black men not being married to black women know innately if they can't deal with her, he ain't gonna deal with no woman. For real. That's a huge settle. So black women, y'all not really worried about that. Y'all show it through emotions that y'all feel some type of way. Most do, not all, but most do. But really, y'all know that he's not really doing right by her. You know it. Just deep down, you know it. You know a black man.
Why are you saying that? Why are you shitting on black men so hard, sir?
But I don't think he's shitting on black men. GMT. I don't think he's shitting on black men. I think he's just pointing out a simple fact that this is not just on the women. There are men out here as well that are a part of the problem, and some of them happen to be black. It's not the numbers. I get what the numbers are saying that women.
Every race is part of the problem.
But okay, because you were saying he's shitting on black men. So are we talking about black people? Or are we talking about overall? Because specifically, y'all's conversation,
I see your point.
Yeah, because specifically y'all's conversation, he's just trying to point out that it's not 100% wholesome on the man's part. You are a remarkable man if you've done what you're supposed to do in your life. But that's not everybody's story. Even the ones that know how to act right are choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a simple. It comes down to like just how people want to live their lives. So we can look at numbers and statistics and say, well, you're financially ready or you're mentally ready. Some people just want to have their cake and eat it too. Ready or not, they want to play the game by their own reality.
Right.
But did you
And
hear
then
what did
also,
you?
like you were saying, GMT, the girl in the video, why aren't they choosing stronger black men? But I think that one of them, just my take on how she said it, because she said she didn't want a man bringing her down. I think she already acknowledges that she made a mistake in choosing, and she's probably afraid to choose because she clearly doesn't know how to choose a stronger guy. Like, she doesn't know how to identify the differences, especially like the one beside her said, well, I didn't have a father in the home. So she doesn't have that depiction of what that looks like. And so when you don't have that, you don't know what to look for. You don't have the definition. So again, this goes back to the last time when I was saying a lot of times it does have to be a minute. You can't say I want to be a guy. I mean, I want to be a man, but then I'm not properly lead. If you step to this woman, step correctly from the jump, because they don't know.
Why give? So okay. So then I got you. So let's come up with a solution for this whole conversation, right? The best thing, as women on the panel, what advice would you give a woman, right? Good advice would you give a woman? Because, like I said, Kit gave some great advice along these lines the other day, and I'll rock with her for that all day. What advice would you give those women back in 1985, moving forward with their lives to be in better situations?
Me personally, don't give up. Don't quit on your relationship. Don't give up on providing a safe space for your child if you can. Protect your relationship. Don't let no one interfere or intervene in what you guys have. Even though you're young, you can still grow. You can still mature together, and try to mature and grow together, and try to make it work. Give it your best shot for the sake of you, your mate, and your child or children.
Okay. Good advice.
Boom
Good
box.
advice.
Can I ask you a quick question? Why wouldn't you just tell her to follow her man? Why is that so hard?
Well, I mean, because he's still growing too. If I'm basing it off of the video because they were so young, and with them being young, I feel like the guy is going to make mistakes, and they have to trust each other. He's going to have to trust her because they're young parents, and they have to work together. So it's not about her listening to him or anything like that. It's just they gotta pace themselves and learn together for the.
So let me read this. Let me read this super chat. We got a super chat. My guy Blockchain with the $4.99. He says a man bringing her down equals a man holding her accountable for her actions, having to submit to, and requiring her to respect him. We have another panelist guest in the building. Chim Chim, my God, what is good, man?
Chim Chim, you on mute?
Chim, you on mute? You on mute, brother?
Oh, he just ain't ready.
Okay, so I wanted to give my piece of advice, because honestly, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to the 1985 girls. I want to talk to the ones in 2024. I want to talk to the ones that are ready for marriage, and also the ones that are in marriage, even if they're possibly thinking about divorce, because I feel like that's the basis of our issues, is the women that are in marriages right now considering divorce. I'm going to tell them to use all the tools. It sounds great because now I feel like everybody wants to be so enlightened and be like, oh, I'm on this journey and I'm doing the self-love and we have so much language now post Panorama. And it's like, that's great. But I need people to actually use the tools. Get the counseling, utilize therapy, utilize medication if you need it, do what you need to do, because marriage is hard, and it's not that's just the makeup of it. So if you want it to work, you have to do the work. Don't put it all on your spouse to be the epitome of what your life is supposed to be like, what happiness is supposed to look like. Look inside first, do the work that you need to do for yourself, and everything else is gonna come. Be content in the spaces where he may not change. Be content in the spaces that he may change. Be optimistic in that way, because we're all flawed. We have our issues. So do the work.
Can I
That's
just add
my,
to what she
my
said?
opinion.
Can I add to what she just said too?
Of
I mean,
course,
as
of course.
I would like to add to what she said, as well as making discipline, having self-discipline, an important thing to strive for as well. Again, because we're in a society where self-discipline is out the window. We can't even like have discipline with time management or anything. Like we're really like it's booty now. So I was saying, have self-discipline, work on that, make that is booty.
Yeah. Wait, what's booty?
It's the fact that you said time
Not
management
having-
of all things, friend. Friend.
Hush.
What is wait, which one is the booty?
Not having self-discipline.
Oh, okay.
Like self-discipline has gone out the window. We're not disciplined, like the way we eat, the way we just even communicate, like everything that we do have discipline and have emotional regulation important. There's a lot of things that we need to focus on as well before we even consider getting with someone, procreating, all of that. There's a lot more that comes before.
So even within, are you saying those things still need to be worked on even within a marriage before even sitting down and considering?
Well, discipline should be before the marriage. You should work on discipline before the marriage.
But you're already in it now.
Because when you have self-discipline, you can't even talk about entering into a monogamous thing without discipline. Like you have to have discipline. Either way you put it.
She's right. I'm with that.
That's all
I'm with that.
No, I agree.
I'm with that.
I was disciplined enough. I ate all my grapes.
You've been finished those grapes. You ate those grapes an hour ago. You know what I'm saying?
I was disciplined. I was just showing what my discipline looks like. You got to finish your grapes. You can't just leave. Don't leave a grape behind. This is what you call good discipline. I agree, Jess. I'm disciplined. So,
Kit, what would your advice be? Okay, you don't got to talk to the 1985 lady. Let's talk to the 2004. Where are we at? 2024 lady.
But I mean, even in 1985, that's still a problem that exists today.
I agree. I agree.
Still present.
So, I'm giving advice to which year?
Whatever year you see fit.
I was just
wow.
Try year 3000. I'm playing.
I'm about to say, if that's the case, find your ticket to Mars and get the off this joint. Because look, I'm trying to be on the red planet. Okay, I'm still waiting for there. I smell like a human now because they dropped me off and now they can't smell me to find me to take me home. I'm just stuck here.
I still don't think you're a human though, but we here with you though.
Exactly.
So the grapes are kicking in, kid.
Yeah, but
the grapes are kicking in.
You said what?
The grapes are kicking in.
Oh, girl, I had grapes earlier. Anywho, my advice would be, oh boy, we touched so many different subjects, and we're just talking about in the realms of like, what is it? What kind of advice? To what year? Let me make sure I know what I'm.
Any year to the woman that is contemplating divorce without doing the work.
I would tell her to, for one, understand that the work is necessary to understand if whether or not your feelings are just that. Are they feelings that are, so, valid as far as how of what's going on, or are they just feelings in the moment because whatever particular need or emotion isn't being sufficiently met is clouding your actual judgment? I guess so. I guess the bigger thing I would say is don't make a lifetime decision on a temporary feeling.
That's awesome advice. Love it.
I'm good at this. I just know what I was saying. Don't worry about me. But no. When we make decisions on temporary feelings, later on, the repercussions of that can be so much greater than have we stood fast in the moment to work with, our partner and what we're doing. I would personally, that would be my advice. Like, now, if you've done the work and you've persevered through, and you still see that, I don't want to say you made a mistake, but maybe you realize things about you or your partner that weren't aligned from the beginning, but you just saw it. I personally feel like some people put on the rose-colored glasses because, like a lot of women, we have a tendency, like, we can change them, we can fix this, right? So, once you take those rose-colored glasses off, if it's not working and you did the work, then then you can look at leaving and seeing what's better. But my ultimate advice is just don't make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling.
Boom. We have a guest in the building. Chim, what's good, man? Could you hear us this time?
Yeah, sorry, I was driving and trying to sort it out.
Hey,
yeah, thanks for having me. I wanted to kind of comment on, I guess, Serge or whatever. I kind of second some of what he was saying in terms of like how to choose and the reasons as to like kind of how things are and the way things are for the reasons that they are, right? And some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. I can kind of see both sides of the argument. I think and my wife said it best one time. I never really thought of it this way. Like I was raised by, a woman who is from the South, deep South, Mississippi, the butthole of the freaking South, and then a father who is from Africa, right? And so the dynamics are like super different.
Chim, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, and so I learned a lot of valuable lessons with like, being around my mom, post my dad leaving and all of these things. But like, my wife said it best herself. Like one of the things that my wife always said was her biggest fear was having a son. And the reason she said that was because she believes that a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. Mm-hmm. Right? A woman can teach a man how to be the man she may have wanted to. She may have wanted or valued, but she can't teach a man how to actually be a man. The same way that men can't teach a woman how to be a woman. I can teach a girl like my daughters, how to have respect and be valued, all of these things that I think that are valuable in, a decent human, but I can't teach a woman how to be a woman. And so when you're missing that element from the family dynamic, it gets really complicated. And like the clip that you showed was super sad because, these people feel like, hey, I can do it. And yeah, if you can do it if you absolutely have to, but you shouldn't want to have to do that, right? You should want to have someone who's going to give them that complete side, because you're not raised as a man the same way I'm not raised as a woman. So you want someone to be able to complete that side of showing a guy how to be a guy and showing, your daughters what a valuable man is and what it looks like. And that's missing from, our family dynamic as far as like African Americans are concerned. And yeah, we can argue about why or what or when, But I don't think that it's disputable that in most cases, when you come from, and maybe it's not even unique just to African Americans, but when you're talking about a single family dynamic, when you don't have both, a child's going to miss out on the complete experience and understanding what it is to be a complete male or female and what their role is in relationships. So I just wanted to jump in and say that, because I get your point. Yeah, you made good points. I agree. But you know, where we are now in society, like it's super dynamic, it's fluid. There are women and there are men who can do it on their own, but that should not be the future, right? That's a byproduct, right? It shouldn't be the future.
Hey, Chim, can you tell me what part you disagreed on?
Yeah. So when you were saying, hey, and I believe, again, I was driving and I was talking to my wife. We're like on our way somewhere, but when you were kind of talking about like the reasons that women are the way they are and they choose the reasons that they do, and it is kind of a feature of women raising men the way they do, and it's kind of our fault, right? Like I agree with that. Some of it's also where I disagree is like some of those things that you mentioned were kind of a byproduct of like how society is kind of shaping what a man of value is, right? Like the Andrew Tates and like you said it yourself, like the red pill kind of stuff, right? Like a lot of those things are prominent, right? Like we talk about women who, you know, do OnlyFans and all of this other stuff, and we're like, oh, it's not a high value woman, it's not a high value man, but at the same time, like a high value man is like a dude who's been with like 20 chicks, but then we want our chicks to have absolutely, you know, a zero body count. Like it's just it's contradictory. There's a lot of things that just don't quite make sense, right? But a lot of that stuff kind of gets shaken out when you have an actual male to like guide you and say, hey, like this is what society expects from you, and this is what reality is, and it's your job to kind of find the middle ground, right? But no one has, or not no one, but a lot of people don't have that guidance. A lot of people just are, you know, they're following the Andrew Tates because they have no one else to follow, right? And the same things, a lot of women are they're following the Sexy Reds because they don't have anyone to follow, right? And so it's not surprising how we end up in a situation like this where you have people who are just rudderless. Right?
Tim,
Like,
you're not really telling me what I got wrong specifically. And I know in essence, I know the part that you probably agreed on was the order of things. And I strongly believe that there's an order. And I think that men, we love to talk about how we're leaders, but leaders are first. So they're the first example. So we're quick to talk about how women out here being sexy red in thoughts, and what, you know, Kit instantly responded with saying like, yo, you can't be quick to call that out without looking at what we're doing, because they're wired like that. That's why women are quick to deflect. One of the things that Kevin said, women always deflecting, putting it on the men, because we are the first examples. We are the first thoughts. We're the first slut makers. We do that first.
Serge, not meaning to cut you off. We are in overtime right now, and I know the ladies are exhausted. So I do want to put a bow on it, because I know this is a greater topic that we can have on a different show. But here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna put a bow on it, but I do want MRT and Tiara to also put their spin on it as well. So if y'all don't mind giving us y'all quick 1-2s before we head up out of here. MRT, what's your thoughts?
About the video and advice?
Yeah.
I really didn't have too much to say, but I guess the first thing I would ask her, has she utilized every option possible to make this work? to make this rectify the situation? What have you done to make amends? And the second thing I would ask is, if he doesn't hear you out and he doesn't change, is this something that you're willing to live with for the rest of your life, considering of all the good things that have come out of your marriage and the time that you've put in? So I would just ask her those two questions. And yeah, I think it would be kind of self-explanatory whenever she answers them.
Okay. That's what's up. Tiara, you there? Tiara
got a baby.
She
It's
probably
late
with
and
the
she got a
baby.
baby, right?
Tiara is with the baby. All right. I want to just throw a little bow in this by saying, older women talk to the younger women, right? Talk to the younger women. Let them know that marriage is not a game. It is not something that you get into, that you jump in and out of, and you just pick husbands like they fall off of the husband tree.
Negative.
Okay, hold on one second, Serge. You're being distracted to the panel. Give me 1 second. It's not something that you take lightly. It is an actual commitment. And if you choose that commitment, just like Dion said, you make sure you utilize every tool in that arsenal before you decide to get out of it. It should not be, because you got to keep in mind, if you divorce and you have a child, you are not just leaving your husband. You are breaking up a family. You are dividing a child from his father. You are causing problems in that child's life, whether you believe it or not. If the marriage is so bad and it's abuse, or AB, or it's something along those lines that is irreconcilable, completely understand. But if it's you not being happy, then please use everything in your arsenal to make sure you do not jump out of a marriage just for those frivolous reasons. And yes, I said frivolous. Chim, Serge, thank you so much for joining the show today. Greatly. Definitely a values, and of course, we are all not going to see the same. We're not going to see eye to eye. Ladies, I do value everything you guys offer. When I say don't listen to women, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about don't watch The View. Don't watch those talk shows. Stay away from certain therapists that's telling you it's about your happiness and that's it. Stay away from those women. That's what I'm talking about. Listen to women like, get some advice from Dion. Get some advice from Kit. Boombox spitting bars. You know what I'm saying? MRT spit some bars. Tiara said that Cardi B is the next president, so I don't know. And justified spit bars. But when I say this, speak to the younger women, I mean speak to the younger women. Let them know that marriage is not a joke. It is not for the weak either. So, on that note, I am going to end the show. Thank y'all so much, ladies. This was a great show. You guys did awesome. Once again, let's give y'all a round.